can see, obviously, some of their stats coming into the games. 3 goals average a game for Lyrics. On the other side of that, DullenMIKE scores a lot, concedes a lot, but his knockout game yesterday were penalty shootout wins. So he likes to go right to the wire.
The way that he actually got to penalties as well, he showed great resiliency, did DullenMIKE. After trailing against Diogo for long periods of that game, and then against Nicholas Razek in a game that I thought Nicholas Razek would win, personally. He's now set up a very, very saucy tie with Lyrics. Lyrics got to the semi-final by beating Nico at 3-2 and then dispatching Rafsu in quite a spicy, heated matchup.
Yeah, and you have to give a lot of credit to DullenMIKE, who will come forward with his first attack of the game. Obviously playing for Wolfsburg now. He's kicking in that blue strip from right to left. Lyrics obviously in that brand new, obviously FUTWIZ kit for FIFA 20, one of those esports kits that you guys can earn at home. He's wearing it obviously in the studio as well, you can see. But what a 12 months it's been for DullenMIKE. Again, it's so hard to get recognised, not just in competitive FIFA, but in that German scene, which is so good. Obviously, World Cup champion as part of that now as well. But he was the first ever FUT Champions Cup winner back in January last year, and he was just a player that really everyone was a little bit scared of.
Yeah, 100%. You saw the result for him in Bucharest. It was sort of, people were talking about him but not expecting him to deliver. And we saw him in the first FUT Champions Cup, and people were like, oh yeah, DullenMIKE's this new talent, 16, 17 years old. He's gonna be very, very good. And then for him to just burst through the scene like he did, and be as mature and as well spoken and as level-headed as he was as well, I think that was credit to him, credit to the people looking after him as well, his management, the agency. And now, signed with Wolfsburg, arguably one of the biggest players in German competitive FIFA.
And one of the youngest ones as well, Richard. Let's not forget that. Obviously, an World Cup probably to forget for him, but it was a learning experience. His first ever World Cup final. The year before last, he was too young to compete. And he is, obviously, as you said, Richard, the youngest FUT Champions Cup winner alongside Tex, but just a few days younger to earn that official title. Got picked up by SK Gaming / FC Cologne. It was just after the FUT Champions Cup, that was. And then, as I said, just before the World Cup, signed with Wolfsburg. It's part of that Stark family. They've done wonders for a number of players, including Lyrics as well. Obviously, one of their players also. But it just seems like, as a lot of the guys are saying, there's a point to prove for Lyrics this year. Obviously, as we know, couldn't compete for a major of the season. Majority of the season, I should say, sorry. And just kind of became a coach, didn't he? Because he wanted to be an event. He still wanted to be an event. He still wanted just to feel... He just wanted to be around competitive FIFA, in short, really, didn't he?
He wanted the atmosphere. He didn't want to lose his touch. He wanted to stay fresh. And it worked for him. Coaching Nightwatch throughout the Champions League, into the playoffs as well. Nightwatch really put down a lot of his success to Lyrics' custom tactics, to his instructions, to his guidance.
And of course, that included a win against Tex, didn't it? In Manchester last year. A match that would have sent him to the E-Champions League final, which Nightwatch did go and made it to the final in that tournament. Obviously, New York City Chris becoming the winner there. Chance early on, that's just cleared away by Patrick Vieira.
That lovely new skill move as well, holding L2, just activate a fake shot, square and X on the PlayStation controller, X and A on the Xbox, and your player will just move the ball between both feet. So a nice new way of sort of changing direction, killing the ball. You saw that then change with just a driven pass into the box straight away there.
It's Neymar's turn to come forward. Ruud Gullit, a few ball rolls, as you'd expect. He's just trying to disrupt the shape of DullenMIKE's team, and DullenMIKE will not forget that game in the Draft Story Cup. It was a two-legged matchup. DullenMIKE did go 1-0 up early on over the two legs. It was just that kind of grit of being able to see out a game from Lyrics that really came in to help him as he will try and open up that defensive line once again. Laurent Blanc does go down. Referee will play advantage and straight back down the other end for DullenMIKE. As you touched on though, Richard, that game against Emrajek yesterday was huge for him. He was trailing by 2 or 3 goals on 2 occasions in that game. And he said on the couch when I was with him, at one point I took my headphones off and I just wanted to quit. But he got back into the game, never gave up, went to a penalty shootout. Back-to-back penalty shootout wins, Richard, against obviously one against Diogo in the round of 16, one in the quarterfinals against Emrajek, one of the top players that will make knockouts, it seems, every single time on the Xbox.
I'm just having a look here at Lyrics' team. If it's the first time you've seen Lyrics' squad, yes, that is Vieira centre-back.
There's that ball into Eusebio where he could be really dangerous. I'm surprised the keeper didn't come out and clear that one.
Vieira and Laurent Blanc, it looks like, as his 2 centre-backs. Nelson Semedo in at full-back for him. Zidane holding with Ruud Gullit in the centre of midfield.
And of course, a number of similarities in a lot of pros teams. Normally, across the back line at least and into the midfield, and then going further forward, we've seen obviously those 5-star weak foot icon choices that people have backed, such as Johan Cruyff or Eusebio. Obviously, R9's always going to be in everyone's team. It's a case of if you want to lead on a Cristiano Ronaldo or a Messi, as we've seen some players do. Added time of just 2 minutes. It is 0-0. As we expected, it was going to be a very tight and contested matchup, this one. DullenMIKE will have the last chance of the half, though. Johan Cruyff just trying to drive that forward. Well, took a bit of a deflection off Ruud Gullit there. Save was needed still by the goalkeeper, and it comes to the box. Gullit at the front post. Vieira is there as well. Another corner to come. We've played our 2 minutes of added time. Back to that danger area. He's looking for that front post flick on referee. Are we going to play another attack? Yes, we are. Eusebio.
He's letting the corner go as well with 4 minutes 30.
What's that front post? Gullit's there. He's not going to look for it. Instead, to Stegen, the goalie, a choice in net for FUTWIZLirycz. He's just saying, I think, ref, are we calling this game? Are we done for half time? It's going to be a free kick anyway to the Stegen.
With 6 minutes!
Could you imagine if you conceded in the 90th minute with this much added time?
Lyrics just putting it straight out of play. Get us into half time.
It is 0-0. We really haven't had much to break down here. The stats kind of speak for itself.
Yeah, DullenMIKE in that 4-1-2-1-2. We saw him playing it quite a lot yesterday as well. CR7 as one of his centre midfielders. Vieira holding. Cruyff in at cam. Gullit and CR7, the 2 centre mids. Carlos Alberto, Roberto Carlos in at fullback for him.
As you saw in the halftime stats, the possession in the favour of the German, 58%, and really one shot between the 2 players as well. There hasn't been too much to talk about yet, but that's the beauty of a second leg. If it does go as 0-0, someone's going to have to come out and play, but it was a low-scoring game. In that knockout game in the Draft Story Cup that I will keep relating back to, because it's the last time we saw these guys play on FIFA 20, the only time they played in the last few years. Obviously, Lyrics, a player that you go back as far as FIFA 18, actually made the playoffs then, but obviously couldn't make it to that event. On the other side of that, DullenMIKE was not old enough to compete back in FIFA 18, so but that's why they haven't played against each other, yeah.
Last year, the Lyrics with Imperial.
And of course, with the Maltese PlayStation 4 player of Christian Spiteri. Back to goal. He's going to be the first chance really for Lyrics. Time that tackle to perfection from Laurent Blanc. Huge tackle. Goes out for a throw-in. But no, a lot of land experience for both of these 2 guys. Playing at events where there's prize money, where there's cameras on you. Not a great clearance, really, is it? Neymar back to R9. Again, Laurent Blanc just doing enough to get in the way of the right boot there of R9.
We're all talking about, well, Tex mentioned it, about Lyrics in the final. He wants Lyrics to get to the final. I know FUT done quite well. I know that the one thing that he'll be drilling into Lyrics is 1 game at a time, 1 game at a time, 1 game at a time. Don't even think about the final. You're not there yet.
R9 into Eusebio. Expect that one more pass inside. Lovely use of a fake shot there, just to make Vieira bite into the tackle and open up the pocket of space that he did. Messi. Again, it's one of those prime examples we said, Rich, that if you do get Messi on the ball, it's got to be quick. It's got to be into his feet, and you've got to play off, or it has to be a shot if you were close to the goal, because look at just the people that are around him, the physique of Pullet, the air around that centre midfield area. He's going to pick up the ball, of course, on the halfway line to try and drive forward, because you can see every single player back for Lyrics within his own half, back to goal again. That's a wicked deflection.
Both players defending very, very well in this first leg. You see the 4-4-2 that Lyrics has been using for quite a while. Interesting that DullenMIKE's not... You know what? In a 4-1-2-1-2, I'm surprised he's not scored yet. Because the 4-1... I'm surprised there's not been goals in general, because against the 4-1-2-1-2, it's very hard to hold possession when you're using 4-1-2-1-2. The passing options just don't open up as much.
I think that was a comment from the other side of the bracket with Tex, is that we know Dullen plays quite a narrow formation, and it was something that I know Tex's coach was saying, I'm a little bit worried about if we have to come up against someone that does play more of a narrow formation. We know it has to be a lot faster, the build-up play.
The thing is with the 4-1-2-1-2, it had 58% possession at half-time. It's so hard to actually do that, because your centre-mids don't really show for you that much. Your CDM seems a little bit out of the game. Whereas in a 4-4-2, you can move it left to right all day long. The passing options keep on opening up. So extremely impressive from DullenMIKE to have the possession at half-time, yet both players defending extremely well. They're not showing any frailty in the defensive third, both looking very strong.
There's that through
Switch
ball
result to
into R9. He didn't really have any other option, did he? He'll be Yashin, the Russian goalkeeper that has been backed. It's kind of a little bit different for us to see Yashin in goal, especially for this year.
There's a lot of icons on the pitch right now for DullenMIKE as well, looking at his team.
Still 0-0, 73 minutes played in this first leg. If you have just joined us, you know that Tex is in the console final. He's waiting for one of these two to join him in that Xbox final. Still got a second leg to come. It's still 0-0 though. Johan Cruyff. Now how deadly he can be in and around the box. Really nice this from DullenMIKE. Back to Hullet again, R9. You know what he wanted to do, but Lyrics also did as well. Ball just coming straight back at him though. Just him jockeying there of Hullet. He's on the yellow card already.
Again, Nelson Semedo just tucking in from the fullback position and clearing up any danger.
Hullet. Couldn't get that ball to Eusebio at all, could he? There's a pause cue by Lyrics. And of course, naturally, there probably will be a little bit of frustration coming through soon, because credit where it's due to DullenMIKE, he's not let Lyrics play at all.
I mean, either has Lyrics to DullenMIKE though. I can't really recall any good shot that either player has had. It's been a stalemate. It's the only way you can describe it. Which adds even more pressure going into the second leg if we are at 0-0. Because then the mistake is vital. Then it is costly. Then you watch back the Twitch stream and you see that you made a mistake in the second leg and that was the thing that cost you.
This will probably be the last chance of the game, and it's going to fall to DullenMIKE. Of course, there will be added time to come as well, so maybe expect Lyrics to have a chance as well. He'll be patient around this attack. He'll take his time with it. As you would have seen, it's gone all the way back to left back. Everyone's getting a touch on the ball. There's a reason for it, though. On the other side of that, Lyrics' team, every single player within his own half, shuffling from left to right. You can see a little bit of a press there, and it has worked out for him. Messi's going to make the run just to try and pull out the centre-back, and it's gone all the way back to the full-back of Zambrotta. Zidane. Added time at 2 minutes. This will be the last attack of the game. R9 just jacks it on the ball, didn't he? Tried to open up that shot on the right foot. Full time in game number 1. And it is, as you said, Richard, it's been a little bit of a stalemate. At half time, we had 1 shot that we saw. And to be honest, at full time, maybe 2 shots. We haven't really seen too much.
I don't think the stats will be they'll be great viewing. It was quite a tactical, quite a dry game, really. There weren't really much to write home about in that first leg. But if anything, that just sets up for the second leg even better. As you can see, the Turtle Beach Elite Pro 2 headset that DullenMIKE is using there. If you stay tuned throughout the stream, you can win your very own Turtle Beach Elite Pro 2 headset. We will be providing you the hashtag later on in the stream that you are required to tweet out. In your tweet, just make sure you're following @TurtleBeach, and you will see the hashtag come up on your Twitter, and we will remind you also on the stream, Brandon.
Exactly that, of course, you get your hands on the leading headset when it comes to competitive FIFA. Obviously, Turtle Beach sponsoring so many of these FUT Champions Cups, and obviously both players using the headset. I'm wondering what Lyrics is looking at right now. I don't know if he's chatting with some of the other UK pros that might be watching this game on stream and giving him some advice. I'm sure FUT was down and said what he needed to say between these 2 games, as DullenMIKE looks to be ready to jump into his second matchup. And I do feel a little bit sympathy for DullenMIKE's coach, because he took him to 2 penalty shootouts yesterday, 2 knockout games to get his heart going, I'm sure.
Get the blood pumping.
So he's seen it all. But there is credit to that man as well, because he kept him going, he pushed him on. Next thing you know, he won on the penalty shootout in that quarter-final game yesterday. 0-0 in the first leg. We're into the second leg now. Are we going to see a direct change of play style? Because someone has to come out and get a goal in this matchup.
I think the first goal will literally be everything in this game. I can see it ending 1-0. I can see the first goal being the only goal in this matchup.
Could be our first 1-0, really, in the knockouts.
Lyrics held a clean sheet in his quarter-final against Rafsu.
Oh no, and here's that opening chance. He timed it green and everything was right about the chance. Lucky enough for Lyrics, the German shot stopper was standing strong. Corner played in, and as always, played short, recycled onto the edge of the box. You can see the Global Series point distribution as well, which these guys are playing for. They've already guaranteed themselves 800 points for getting to this stage. Here's that chance to show exactly what he wanted to do. Vieira just doing enough to get rid of that one. If they do win this, they will jump up again into that top 3 kind of breakdown. There'll be 1.4 thousand Global Series points, and which will be huge for the start of their season. There's a through ball.
He's getting the free kick against him.
Wow. Can you imagine
So
if he just plays advantage there, or not advantage, referee just lets it play on. Lyrics is through, and he's just got the gift. The first 10 minutes, they've had 2 half chances already. Of course, alongside the point distribution, we have got the prize pool as well. Currently $7,500 these guys have earned. Scoop turn, R9.
What a save. Marc-Andre ter Stegen.
Non-stop pressure though. Early on, we're going straight back down the other end now. Zidane.
This is the game. The first leg, you play not to lose. The second game, you have to come out and win it. If you don't attack the game and you lose the match 1-0, you've only got yourself to blame.
As
like
we
both
mentioned,
players just seem so much more aggressive.
About that prize pool. Already $7,500 guaranteed. They win this game, they'll jump into the top 4, because obviously it'll be 4 players left in the tournament, 2 on Xbox, 2 on PlayStation. Battling out for a chance to be in that grand final, that cross-console final. As we know, only so 2 up in competitive FIFA. Of course, that's coming up at the end of play today. We've still got so much FIFA action to come first. We've got to conclude this Xbox side, in which we're still waiting for the breakthrough of our first goal in this matchup. It has been a lot more electric in this second leg. Looking for that scoop turn every single time, whether it's Cruyff, whether it's R9. Just to brush past, whether it's that CDM or that centre-back. This is nice. Carlos. Ronaldo still on it. Just generate enough power as well to get ter Stegen working once again. So quick from these corners. hasn't got an option though. You can see every single player back for Lyrics.
Interesting that at the end of the first half, he was, or the first half of the first leg, he was crossing the wall in. He was trying to find Hullet at the near post. The last couple of corners that he's had in this second leg, he's played short.
I think it's just that mix-up, isn't it?
So he was whipping the corners into the front post very fast as well. Wasn't giving Lyrics any time to really move his goalkeeper or pull a play to the near post to defend it. It was quick deliveries into the box.
Of course, if DullenMIKE does get through, of course he's got to score a goal before that, we would have an incredible Xbox console final setup. 2 FUT Champions Cup winners, 2 of the youngest FUT Champions Cup winners and competitive FIFA players on the circuit at the moment. As I said though, yet to see a goal in this game. You saw the idea there. Hullet unfortunately just didn't have that acceleration to try and find that ball. Look how deep Ronaldo is there. He's had to come back to try and get something moving.
He's playing in the centre mid. That's where he's playing him.
Of course, it looks like
1-2-1-2.
Johan Cruyff in that camera, I guess, and the striker duo of R9 and Eusebio. As you said, Richard, 4-1-2-1-2 in action for DullenMIKE. We haven't really seen that at all this weekend. 4-4-2 or a 4-2-3-1. Much more of a narrow formation he's choosing to play. There's a reason why he's still in the tournament. Here's that chance for FUTWIZLirycz now. R9 had to be perfect, and it is. It was a tough one. He got the ball, and I did question, was the defender going to do enough there? It looked like he tried to just stab a foot to try and get rid of the ball. It's still stuck to R9 though. We can see it again on the replay.
Oh,
it was Van Dijk there. Another day Van Dijk does win that, doesn't he?
Very hard done by there, DullenMIKE. I thought he'd done enough defensively with Van Dijk, but the ball just seemed to be ricocheting back and forth like a pinball machine inside the box. R9, the man to hammer it home for Lyrics, and I said that it could be 1-0 now. DullenMIKE, show us what you've got.
We finally see a goal in this game, Richard, after 120 minutes of in-game FIFA time.
It's a great tackle.
But honestly, I could see this being a 1-0. Lyrics this year has been able to see out matches. What we saw back at that Draft Story Cup, what we've seen on the online qualifiers as well in the matches that he's played. Before even finishing top 4, he did qualify himself for the 2nd FUT Champions Cup. This is just an added bonus for him. He's got a point to prove this year. And at the moment, he's backing it up on the big stage. Very interesting.
I think that might have been a fake shot.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Just to keep Yashin aware that he is there. This half-time break is going to be key for DullenMIKE. He's got about 45 minutes left to try and find a goal if he wants to take us to an extra time interval in which DullenMIKE only knows too well. As we did mention, both his round of 16 match and quarter-final were penalty shootout wins for him. Some very tough games. Done really well there, Eusebio. He's round his man as well. Surely a chance. Ball roll or two. Went on his own. Vieira.
Didn't know where that ball was going to rebound then from the shot.
Well, hit Neymar's chest, and lucky enough for DullenMIKE, the referee just blew up for a half-time there, into the half-time interval. And obviously lucky enough for us, Richard, we've got the POV of DullenMIKE to look at if he's going to make any changes. Doesn't look like he's going to.
Plenty more shots, plenty more happening in this second leg. As these two gladiators battle it out for the chance to meet Tex inside the Colosseum of what we call the Xbox console final. Coming up later today. And a chance to cement yourself in the first grand final of FIFA 20.
And also on top of that, Richard, the chance to cement yourself as #1 on those rankings when they refresh next week for the first time this year. As you know, top 64 on each console make the playoffs. That's in June. That's a very long, long way away. But those people will be getting some incredible points early on and really setting the mark for the year ahead. Currently, though, 1-0 to FUTWIZLirycz, just under 45 minutes away. We knew there wasn't going to be many goals, especially after their previous matchup when Lyrycz won 2-1. Pull it. That's a Cristiano Ronaldo. I feel like a second goal probably would finish this. Just from what we've seen so far. Messi back to goal. He's going to look for that left foot, as we probably know. Ball roll. There's that left foot. And there's the goal. We said we were waiting for it. But the ability just to move round in such a tight area. Ball roll was there. Onto his left foot. Next thing you know, it's 2-0 to FUTWIZLirycz.
Unbelievable close control inside the box from Leo Messi. Finding his way onto his left foot and then bending that one into the corner, past the goalkeeper's reach, doubling his lead. And FUTWIZLirycz in a fantastic position right now with, what, 35, 40 minutes left. However, DullenMIKE's been in this position before.
R9 getting back into this game. Oh, off the post. The man you would normally bet your house on. The only thing you could say is obviously naturally he had to kind of ball roll away from the defender, which made the angle quite wide. I know it is R9. Even from the tightest of angles, could still be challenging for him. Lyrycz looking for a third. Can he find Messi? Van Dijk doing enough, and it should be a corner. It will be a corner. Played short to Messi, the goal scorer, off the second in this game. What a goal it was as well.
It's gone all the way back to Semedo there, and the press coming out from DullenMIKE. If you can play around it,
He's done well.
So
He's
much
done
room.
really well indeed. Ronaldo went for the first time cross, took a deflection, so wasn't as successful as he wanted to do. You can see that right on the left-hand side, though, and this is where DullenMIKE will have to start to come out now and have to be attacking. So our last 30 minutes of this match, who will be joining Fnatic Tex in that console final? And at the moment, it will be Lyrycz. As you can see, every single player back behind the ball, trying to make it so difficult for DullenMIKE to break down. He's done it once again. And naturally, when DullenMIKE starts to press, there are going to be gaps that will appear.
Every time that DullenMIKE's asked the question of Lyrycz defence, he's answered. Maybe the post has saved him a couple of times, but he's been very, very solid defensively, and going forward, he only needs a couple of chances. When you've got players like Leo Messi, Zidane, who can create something out of nothing.
Surely. Could be three. Plays it back into Eusebio. Goalkeeper movement there, just across from Yashin into the centre. Did match up the shot, and it did keep me guessing, to be honest. But just keeping the ball with Messi for a little bit longer as he did, it kept DullenMIKE guessing. Where was he going to play? Where was he going to move into? Just see DullenMIKE getting a little bit frustrated there on the player camera.
And this is Lyrycz making a big point as well, because a lot of people last year, when he wasn't able to compete, still regard him as one of the best players. This is him standing up and saying, you know what, I am one of the best players. I wasn't accounted for last year with the quality that I had. I didn't get the rewards that I deserved. And now this year, I'm going to reap those rewards with Team FUTWIZ. He's 15 minutes away from making a Xbox console final against Fnatic Tex.
Jumps up once again into that prize pot. $15,000 will be guaranteed for him. As you look at his previous results, his last match was a 2-0 win up against Rafsu, and then before that, it was a very narrow 3-2 win. That Rafsu game, though, again, had a lot on it.
Yeah,
a lot of chat before the game.
Extra 5% as well, weren't it, in that game? And I think he handled his nerves and he handled the pressure very, very well. You can see the light blue shirts flying forward for DullenMIKE, yet still, Lyrycz seems to be finding a way through it. 10 minutes left. He had a heroic comeback against Diogo. a mesmerising performance against Nicholas Razek, both to force penalty shootouts. He needs something spectacular here against Lyrics.
I think he's looking for a third. Oh, this is beautiful. A little chip as well. No. Unfortunately, it couldn't have been. That was very risky from Yashin there at the back. It's a first-class performance, though, Richard, from Lyrics, who will be making it an all-UK Xbox console final. We spoke about the quality out of the UK, how good they've been over the last few years, and see Tex being one of those leaders of quality. We've seen the likes of Diogo as well pop up this year. Gets a goal now. Might be nothing more than a consolation. His Lyrics will look very calm. Happy to keep the ball. And he's trying to make this a season to remember, Richard. We're only first for Champions Cup into it. He's already qualified for the second one. Forgetting the Masters, obviously, situation when the top four will re-qualify. He qualified at home before it. He will be back again for our console final, and it's been so impressive to watch. 0-0 in the first leg, gets the job done in the second leg. Congratulations, FUTWIZLirycz. You will be in our console Xbox final.
Not only that,